welcome you guys. So I'm just gonna wait for a few more people to mosey on in, because this reading is live. And yeah. I'll get started in a few minutes. I'm on time today. That's because I really want to get this done. Because I've been having so much going on. It's been a lot going on in the ether. I know y'all been feeling it, so we're finna talk about it. Um, this month for June, because it's my birthday month, um, Patreon is free. So if you've been wanting to sign up for Patreon and you haven't got a chance to sign up for Patreon, now is the time that you can see what you're signing up for. Okay, we're about to start, y'all. I just wanted to post this here. Post on my page. So I'm not gonna spend any 5 to 7 minutes on each sign, just so y'all know. So that way, if you come in late and your rising sign is something different, then you can always go back and rewind. This video is only going to be live tonight. Tomorrow it'll be on Patreon only. It will not be live on YouTube anymore. So if you want to watch it, you would have to sign up on Patreon to watch the video. But it is free this month for June, so that's good for you guys. So you'll be able to go back and watch and see what's going on. Okay, so I think I shared it to everything I needed to share it to. And we're about to get started. So, Aries rising people, just so you guys know, we will be focusing on the rising sign, not your sun sign. Your rising sign should be the sign that starts your first house. And we'll be basing it on whole house system, which basically means, um, unless it's on an angle, which means it's on your rising, your DC, your MC, or your IC, it's going to be in a whole house sign. So your first house will start your rising sign, and then it will proceed to the next sign after that, and you'll see what I mean once we get to talking. I'm pulling everything up. Okay, so if you are an Aries rising person, is anybody in the chat yet that's an Aries rising person? Let me look at him and see. If you're in here and you're talking, please share this chat. I'm not sure who's in the chat, but if you are here, make sure you like the video and say your name. But let's go ahead and get into the risings. I'm not trying to make this video super long. And yeah, I'm not gonna see me on the screen, but it's okay. Let's start. So if you are an Aries rising person, this month for you will emphasize in everybody. So this is not your personal chart, but this is how the chart looks for the way that the planets are transiting for this month. And if you were watch the first half of the video, then you know what planets go into each sign this month. But this chart basically will create a bucket chart this month. So it tells me that Libra and Lilith over here in your seventh house, which is partnerships, relationships, marriage, couples, and it could just be platonic, really close friends or really close relationships you have with even people in your family, are going to be the handle or what's holding up the rest of your chart. People that you're associated with, especially maybe even court cases, open enemies, those are seventh house things that could be holding you up when Lilith goes in Libra. So that's just how the shape of the chart goes, just for a little tidbit. But let's go in order here. So, hey, whoever came into the chat, I'm not sure who came up in here. So, I'm not going to do the days that already passed because it's pointless. So let's do today. Today, Mars went into Taurus. So Mars went into Taurus in your second house of possessions, money, finances, value, and the things that grow, that you want to grow. So you may be really focused on maybe growing your money, really ambitious about figuring out how to get some money up or building value on yourself, or this could make you really ambitious about maybe your looks or how you look or how you feel about yourself. Maybe you want to do more about your body or working out, or just really focus on like your beauty, on what's sometimes Taurus can be a little superficial, focusing on really how you look. Then you're on the 17th of June, you have Venus going into Cancer in your fourth house of home, mother, and the fourth house in traditional astrology also rules the father, but the moon rules Cancer and Cancer rules the fourth house. So the mother also associated with the fourth house as well. The fourth house is also associated with home, your family, your roots, where you come from, your innate instincts, your habits, your environment. So you have Venus going there. So that should make the home really lovely. If you have good aspects there, it should make you want to furnish your home, maybe do some renovation, get some paintings. Venus is all about what looks good and feels good to them. So Venus likes to feel good. So at home, you may want to, be all pleasures. You want to have everything that makes you feel good at home. It may be very well so want to be a crab and not want to come out the house. And then also on the 16th, on the 17th, you have Mercury entering Cancer as well. So there could be some communication going on with family. Maybe y'all may be getting together, planning or organizing some type of family events. At home, y'all could be relatives could be coming in to visit. There could be some ceremonies or some graduations. Um, there, sometimes when Mercury is there on the not so good aspect, it could make people very bossy at home, very authoritative, very much so moody. Not crybabies, really not being able to communicate very well sometimes, especially when it's going to be conjuncting Venus. Um, then on the 20th, you have the sun entering a Cancer. When I say Cancer season, take it over, baby, in your fourth house. Your fourth house of family and home is really going to be lit up this month. So, it's really, if you're working or trying to work, it's really going to pull you away from your money. That's why Mars is over house, still making you remember your ambition, because your family, maybe y'all are going into business together, or maybe they may be some type of motivation for you to make money, or maybe you need to get money for them, or they may give you some money. Maybe some, because Taurus and Cancer are going to make a sextile, so their energy is going to make a sextile in your house. So there may be some opportunity for you to make money at home, or have a at home business if you have one already. But the sun goes there. The sun will bring the same type of energy. Your people will be more nurturing at home. They'll be looking to be more private, keeping their business to themselves. They'll be very more family oriented, being great, like, managerial skills at home, being able to multitask, take care of the kids, do the laundry, do this, do that. And they'll be very much so more nurturing. And I already feel that energy, and I'm a Cancer. Then on the 20th of June as well, the summer solstice happened that same day. So this is going to be some new energy happening around your home. I'm not sure if maybe somebody, maybe having a baby, or maybe some news coming to the family. There's something new going on, or somebody, depending on what you got to go on in your chart already, what aspects you have. But somebody could be bringing you some news. Something could be going on with the summer solstice. There's a new energy because the summer solstice marks the longest day of the year, and the longest day in summer. So that's we'll have the most light on that day. Then next you have, on the 21st of June, the full moon in Capricorn happening over here. Um, Sorry, y'all. You got the full moon in Capricorn happening over in your 10th house. And with the full moon in Capricorn happening in your 10th house, maybe with all this energy that's happening at home, it may be pulling you away from your work life. So maybe you could be having some issues going on at home. That you may have to quit your job, or you may have to make a decision to work from home. You can't be at your job anymore. Something at home is going to pull you away. So maybe you may have to make a decision around there, or you may have to do some changes, or maybe something that you started on the new moon could be coming to fruition on the full moon. Because if you watch my new moon and Gemini video, you will understand that what happened on the new moon, if you did it correctly and you worked out all the kinks, it should come to fruition on the full moon, which will be on the 21st in your 10th house. In the 10th house is career, your reputation, and your worldly view, and how the world views you. Next, on the 29th, we have Libra going into Lilith, what I was talking first started talking. When Lilith goes into Libra, there may be issues with relationship. Lilith is the dark side of the moon, the dark feminine energy. So she's the one who, Libra rules justice, peace, harmony, relationships, court, all those things. That's why it needs to be fair. Court is supposed to be fair and balanced. But when Lilith goes in Libra, those things are going to feel really out of whack, especially when it comes to your 7th house issues, which of partnerships, relationships, and open court cases, open enemies, and so on and so forth. It's going to seem like things may be a little bit unfair. You may have relationship issues. There also could be some reconciliation, because the South Node is also in Libra right now, and it is going to make a conjunction with the South Node. So there could be definitely some reconciliation, or some relationship issues coming back up again from the past, or some previous, karmic relationships coming back up again too. Then on the 29th of June, you have Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And that's going to be happening over here in your 12th house. So since you have Saturn in your 12th house of Pisces, and Pisces naturally rules the 12th house. So now that you have I hope y'all can hear me okay. Can y'all hear me okay? If y'all in the chat, somebody in the chat, let me know. Okay, thank you, boo. Okay. Aries rising. Where was it? Saturn and Pisces. Saturn and Pisces is retrograde. So, in Pisces in your 12th house, mental issues that you have been to maybe let go of some stuff. And Saturn says you need to revisit some things that you need to let go of. The 12th house is the house of letting go. Maybe some issues or challenges that have to do with your authority, or maybe how you handle situations, maybe your business that could be wrapped into that full moon in Capricorn. Something big that you need to let go of, maybe a part of your reputation. 12th house, there's the first house again, which is the house of you personality. So when Saturn goes into Aries, you'll be building a new personality for yourself. So maybe you need to be shedding a part of your personality, a part of you that you no longer need. So that's it for you, Aries rising. All the placements have already been in these houses, and we talked about it previously on Patreon. So if you've been on Patreon, do you know what the other placements are in your house? We'll only be talking about the transits that are happening this month. All right, so let's get on to our Taurus rising people. Providing your partnerships, or even when it comes down to health, could be an issue for you in the month of June, especially when Lilith goes into Libra going forward. Just so y'all know, Lilith stays in a sign for 9 months. So it'll be in this sign, in this house, for about 9 months, or wherever you have Lilith or Libra in your chart. For you guys, my Taurus rising people, on Mars and entering in Taurus is in your first house of yourself. So you, more than anybody, you definitely are working on your temperament, working on maybe changing your personality, how you drive yourself, changing your value, realizing that the value that you put on yourself is the value that you have in the world, and what you can give to other people. So maybe you're changing that value as well, because you'll also be having this sextile to this Mercury and this Cancer energy in your third house. So maybe with the way you communicate, maybe with the way you talk to yourself, or maybe with the way you go after what it is that you want, or maybe with your family or your siblings, or even maybe you want to get a new job. Also on the 17th, you'll have Venus entering Cancer in your third house of communication, short distance travel, relatives, siblings, and your immediate environment. So you will want your immediate environment to be very pleasant in order for you to feel good. Taurus in the first house, especially since you have Taurus, that you like to feel good. Taurus is a sign of pleasure. So you are be very, very motivated to feel good this month. So you're going to work your environment to feel just as pleasant, which is why you have Venus there. And your environment will definitely be your home. And maybe even with your immediate family, you're going to want to make sure they're okay. You want to make sure everybody got enough money. Because maybe you're going to have enough money this month, since you're going to have this Taurus or this Mars energy in your first house. Maybe you're going to have enough. Maybe you're going to have enough value put into yourself that you'll be able to spill on to others around you. Then next you'll have Mercury entering Cancer in the third house. Now Mercury naturally rules the third house, and it rules the sixth house because it rules Gemini and it rules Virgo. So when Mercury goes into the third house, into Cancer, you'll definitely be changing your communication. You'll be talking more sweet to people. You'll be like, yes, baby. And you maybe want to be more nurturing. You may be doing maybe a lot more creative writing, maybe a lot of more writing at home, doing a lot more maybe contracts, maybe buying a house. You may be moving, signing some paperwork before a house. That's very much so. The third house also rules like moving and things of that nature. Or maybe you're moving back home, or maybe some people are moving home with you. Those are third house energy, especially when Mercury is at home there. Next on the 20th, we have the sun entering Cancer there. So the sun also, you'll have a third house stellium this month. So that third house will be very much so important for you in your chart. Um, that when Cancer goes there, like I said, you'll be very much so more communicative, especially with your relatives. Something maybe with your nieces or nephews, if you have them, or any kind of close children that are, next to you as well. You could be very nurturing to anybody, even your siblings. They may really need you this month, or you maybe just be their very dependable person, almost like a mother figure. Like, when everything goes disarray, you're going to either want to go home or you want to go to your mama. Either one of those. Next is the summer solstice will be happening there, and that same Cancer energy will be there. So that's that home feeling, the feeling of new starter energy, because Cancer is a cardinal energy, and it does represent the summertime. So that's why the summer solstice is there, which is the longest day of the year, which will have the longest light period. So there's a new starter energy happening in your communication area. Maybe you may be communicating with relatives you haven't spoken to, or siblings you haven't talked to in a while. Maybe you may be getting along a little bit better with your family. There's definitely some energy there since Venus is there, so it'll be more loving. Then on the 21st will be the full moon in Capricorn, which will be happening in your ninth house, which is the house of long distance travel, higher education, higher learning, expansion, abundance, things of that nature. So, since you have all this energy happening in your third house this month, maybe you may be ending or letting go of some things in the ninth house, or maybe there may be some things coming to fruition. Maybe you'll be maybe able to travel to go see family now that you guys are on better terms. Now y'all planning to go see each other, or you maybe got some news that you maybe can get you accepted back into a school, so now you can go back to school to start your, or maybe this could be around a business, or maybe you done redeemed yourself or your reputation, because Capricorn does rule your reputation. Maybe you done learn some type of lesson, or you may be getting some type of reward for it. This could be a lot of things depending on what's happening in your personal chart. Then on the 29th, you have Lilith going into Libra, which is what we were talking about at the beginning, in your sixth house. Now, most of the time, if the sixth house is affected, or if it's when it's going to make a transit, which it eventually will, or depending on what you have in your chart, if you have any Libra placements or air sign placements or cardinal placements, they're going to be affected by Libra. And when they're affected by Libra, especially for you since it's in your sixth house, it can affect your health. And with Libra rules like your kidneys, your feminine reproductive system, kind of sort of, because it's next to Scorpio. So that Libra influence is very heavy there, especially in your health. So make sure that you're taking care of your health, making sure that you're getting some checked. If you have any placements there, or if you want to know, you can definitely book a reading with me. We can take a look into your sixth house and see if there's any health issues that you may need to be aware of. Next, we have on the 29th as well, Saturn going retrograde in Pisces, over here in your 11th house of groups, hopes, fears, your dreams, your friends, and your associations. So something is needing to be looked at again when it comes to how you make yourself small in these groups. Maybe how you make other people feel small. Saturn in Pisces it's like the victim, the oppression, and things of that nature. So maybe your friends may make you feel like, you know, like you're small, or maybe you may make your friends feel that type of way. Maybe it's your friends are like that, because the Pisces is in your 11th house will also be how you are in your friend group and how the friend groups are, how how the people that you like in your friend group. So maybe they may be a little quiet or something like that, or something may come up again that somebody did and you find out about it. You know that could be happening too. So, just so you know, Saturn on Pisces retrograde there, so there could be some lessons that had to be revisited. There could be some challenges, and there could be some karma, good and bad, that could come back out of this situation depending on how you handled previous situations. Think about last year, between June and November, what happened because Saturn was retrograde in Pisces during that time last year. Okay, so my lovely Tauruses, thank you so much. This is the end of your reading. We're going to go on over to our Gemini rising people. So, if you are a Gemini rising person, the bucket chart, this month for you, the bucket chart handle is Libra and Lilith, just like it is for everybody, but your fifth house of sex, romantic flings, children, creativity, risk, and gambling is going to be the bucket. So if you have any of those type of issues there, especially when it includes a partner or somebody else, or your children, or your creativity, something like that, that something could be going on that could be causing a lot of issues with everything else in your life this month. Um, so we're going to get into the first placement that's happening now. Today, 6-9, we have Mars going into Taurus. It's happening in the 12th house. And the 12th house has an ability to debilitate any sign that transits through it. So when Mars is transiting through your 12th house, your passion and drive in mundane astrology may be a little weakened, especially depending on what kind of aspects you have in your personal chart to Mars and Taurus. So today when Mars goes into Taurus, that means that you going after money is a no-go. Especially if you want to go after the physical way. You want to have to go after money, you're going to have to go after the spiritual way first, which is through your mind, through your thoughts, and visualizing and bringing the money to you, manifesting. You cannot go through it from the outside going in, because if you do, you're going to be hitting roadblocks. This is really a time for you to be more introspective and build more spiritual value on yourself more than monetary value on yourself, if that makes sense. Your second house of finances, possessions, value, pleasure. The second house is like art, beauty, all that type of stuff, all the Taurus rule things. And Cancer does good there because Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon is exalted in Taurus, and Taurus rules the second house. And when I say exalted, meaning that the aspects of the planet works really well when it's in the sign of Taurus. Um, is this better? I'm trying to keep my microphone in front of me. Okay. So, yeah, the second house is a good place for Cancer to be and for Venus to be, because Venus naturally rules the second house and it rules the seventh house, because again, Taurus naturally rules the second house. So, Venus is naturally at home. So, you may make money through family, from family. Um, since you have Virgo on your IC, you may make money through, if you have any type of business, like, so let's just say, for instance, I have a friend. She's an herbalist, and it's funny because I literally just referring somebody, one of my clients, to her, and so Venus is connected, and Cancer is connected to the fourth house, and then I'll give y'all some shit. If you want to know how the what's going to be affected with each placement. You have to look at what's connected to that sign. So since Venus is in Cancer, Cancer rules the fourth house and Cancer rules the moon. So I will look at the fourth house and I will look at the moon, especially since the moon changes so fast for that day or whatever, just to see exactly how it's going to be connected. So the fourth house is the fourth, her Virgo is there. And Virgo is like, the earth, day to day routine, your work, your health, and so on and so forth. So Venus rules money. So me giving her a referral for her business is across from the fourth house because the 10th house naturally rules your business, your career, and so on and so forth. So just so y'all know how that is associated and how you can piece those two together. Next, on the 17th, we have Mercury entering into Cancer on the 2nd. So there may be some news, again, about moving into homes. You may be putting some money down on a new place. You could be making money from home a lot more. You could be doing some contracts, especially with Mercury. Mercury rules contract. There could be some more communication, more motion going on at home. There could be some money coming through from people that that your family, especially since that Mars is going to make a sextile from your 12th house to your second house. If you stay still long enough, you can make a lot of money at home. You just have to be still. um then next we have Venus. After Venus, we're on the 20th, we have the sun going into Cancer in the second house. So again, more nurturing, more caring, more centered around your money, around being able to make money from home and not having being able to move so much to make money, and just being all around more nurturing to yourself and more caring with yourself. Then you have the summer solstice also happening there. So again, you got, I don't know, y'all Gemini rising people, y'all got some money going on in y'all chart because the second house is being lit up for you for this month. Um, or all Cancer season basically. Your second house is being lit up, so money is really going to be the focus for you. And then on the 29th, we have Lilith. No, I forgot Capricorn, the full moon in Capricorn. So, whatever seeds you planted Gemini season, now with the new moon in Gemini, if you planted them correctly and you did not have any holes in your plans, they will come to fruition from your eighth house. Your eighth house is the house of OPP, other people's money. So, if you planted your seeds right, you should have been able to manifest other people's money or bring in other people's money to you naturally. Or the eighth house too is also letting go of other people's possessions or shared finances, resources, and so on and so forth. So you may be letting go of something that you share with people, like especially since it's across from Cancer. So it could be a home that you share with somebody. You could be letting go of that or separating a home that you share with somebody. Or family. Family is Cancer too, or mother, something of that nature, because the 8th house rules transformation, death, occult things, rebirth, so on and so forth. So it'll be a full moon around that area. Then on the 29th, you have Lilith in Libra in your 5th house of children. So they could definitely, children, creative, sex, romantic flings, your risk, taking risk. And so that's why Mars is debilitated in your 12th house. Because you trying to take risk right now is not going to be good for you. You cannot go on it the physical way. You're going to have to go do it the mental way. So when your Lilith is in your 5th house, you may be trying to reconcile with old people that you ain't got no business reconciling with. You could have people trying to manipulate you, court case issues, especially when it comes to children, because 5th house does rule children. Child support issues, STIs, having issues finding harmony, like feeling like there's maybe a issue, especially around court or anything that has to do with somebody feeling like you're being treated unfairly, especially when it comes to 5th house issues. Then on the 29th of June, that Saturn is retrograde in Pisces. So when Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, it'll be in your 10th house of career, your reputation, your status, and how you seem to the world. So when Saturn is retrograde there, that means that boundaries are going to be very open for you, and that anything is very much so possible, because Saturn rules like karma, well, your lessons, your challenges, and everything like that. So when it comes to your 10th house, it could be very well so your reputation, it could be your career, and so on. And it could be like pulling you away from family, because when you have all the energy over here in the 10th house, it usually pulls you away from the 4th house. So there could be some pulling away from the home life, or being isolated out there in the world, being by yourself out there in the world, because Pisces is isolation, loner, prison, mental asylums, letting go. There's some part of letting go of an identity or a reputation or career or something of that nature for the 10th house, Saturn and Pisces retrograde. All right, my Gemini rising people, we are done with you. So we will move forward on to the Cancer rising people. So this month for you guys, Cancer rising people, um, the shape, the bucket chart is the shape for this month for the chart, and this is just in mundane astrology. Everybody's chart's going to look different because this is not your chart exactly, because you got different private planetary placements. But Lilith is in Libra, in your 4th house of family, home, mother, sometimes the father in traditional astrology, your roots, where you come from, your innate habits, and so on and so forth. So with you having Lilith there, that tells me that family, home, relationships, if you're married or if you have issues with family and home, that it's going to take place, and it's going to be a big issue that's going to hold up the rest of your life for June and going forward, because Lilith will stay in Libra for 9 months when it goes through. Mars is about passion, and Mars could be very stubborn, especially in the 11th house, because the 11th house is ruled by a fixed sign, and it's in a fixed energy, which is Taurus, naturally ruled by Aquarius. And when you put Mars there, it can make people very stubborn, especially when it comes to groups, because 11th house is supposed to be the betterment for everybody else, and Aries naturally rules Mars, who's single-minded, who likes to be the leader and have everybody just follow them. And I mean, I guess that could work, but if everybody's just following one person, it means they're following their vision, and everybody should have their own vision and their own plan that they add to the collective, and not just be following one person. So sometimes when you put Mars there, it can, especially in Taurus, it can make people very stubborn, very pig-headed, very not wanting to cooperate, sometimes very jealous of, how people look, or people in their groups and associations. So it could be very ugly there, especially depending on what kind of placements you already have there. But it can also make you very well motivated to being a very great and loyal friend, and being a very solid person for your friends at this time. If your friends need you, or any type of groups that you're in, you could be the person that they go to. You may be the person who's funding it. You may be organizing events, or if you're an event planner, this would be a great time for you, and so on and so forth, with Mars going there, especially depending on what aspects it's making in your chart. Next, we have on the 17th, Venus entering into Cancer in your 1st house of yourself, your identity, your temperament, your looks, and so on and so forth. So maybe you may be looking more like a mom this month. So, maybe you may be getting some weight around the breast or the stomach area. Maybe they may be very emphasized this month. For you, my Cancer rising people, because we rule the breast and we rule the stomach, and the mommy issues, the mommy places, the womb, the uterus, all that type of stuff. So they may be very emphasized for you this month. Um, Especially when Venus going there, you may be wanting to eat more sweets, or you may be, you may be having a lot of attraction to you, especially with children. Maybe children are just very attracted to you because Cancer is ruled by the mom, or maybe just people who need to be nurtured or nurturing souls may be very much so attracted to you. So that could be the issue too. Next, you'll have Mercury entering on the same day on the 17th into Cancer as well. So you'll be very much so dealing with, I don't know if you have a lot of kids, so I know the kids going to be out of school, but you'll be very much so in mommy mode, like very authoritative, very like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, just very kind of like getting it together, like, organizing everything, making sure everything is good, because you in control now, because probably the kids may be out of school. But if you don't have kids, this may be with your family, maybe organizing family reunion, family events, going places with family on family trips, things of that nature too. Next, you'll have the sun entering Cancer on the 20th, also in your first house. Again, more Cancer energy. Your first house is really going to be emphasized for you during Cancer season. It's going to be the stellium, and it's going to be also the star too, because you will be very centered around family, very centered around your emotions, maybe centered around digging back into the past, going back into things about you, or reliving the past things that you maybe went through, or your childhood, or things like that. So that's very much so with that Cancer energy, because Cancer love to live in the past, honey. The summer solstice is also happening there, so maybe you may have gotten some, especially some new information that may have given you a new perspective on life, a new way to look at yourself, a new way to identify who you are as a Cancer rising person, especially depending on what kind of aspects do you have to Cancer in your chart. Next, on the 21st, you'll have the full moon in Capricorn opposite your first house and your seventh house of partnerships and relationships. Now, if it ain't nothing that ain't already happening, in your partnerships or relationship. Maybe you could be ending your relationship. Maybe the person is too smothering. Maybe they're too authoritative. Maybe you don't like people trying to take control of you, or maybe it's just not the look that you want. Maybe the relationship feels more like a business than partnership. Because if you're a Cancer rising, most Cancer people do like to be nurtured, and they do like that authoritative nature, but they don't like people to be cold with them. They still need that emotional side to feel secure. Maybe they don't feel secure with you, or if it's not that, maybe there's a new relationship coming into fruition that you planted some seeds on around the new moon in Gemini, that may be getting serious, because when Cancer is in the when Capricorn is in the seventh house, it's very serious, and maybe somebody may want to make it serious with you and be into a relationship, depending on the aspects you have in your chart. Next, on the 29th, we have the infamous Libra and Lilith, which we already talked about at the beginning with the bucket chart. Lilith, again, may cause issues with court cases, families, relationships, marriages, reconciliation, especially since it's going to make a conjunction with the South Node in Libra, with your family, your children, maybe your mother or your father, depending on who had the dominant energy or who had the docile energy in your chart. There could be some separation from family. Some people could be, maybe a family, your mama and daddy may be getting a divorce, or maybe you getting a divorce, or maybe your kids leaving the house, or somebody having issues or problems at home with money, especially too. Maybe somebody doing something, or maybe somebody suing the family. It could be a lot of instances when that comes in too. Or maybe somebody could be, the South Node in Libra is going to make a conjunction with the Lilith in Libra eventually, because it'll stay there for 9 months. So the opposition is North Node and Aries. People need to get their independence and stop being dependent on people before they miss that opportunity. Then, last but not least, we have Saturn retrograde in Pisces in the ninth house. So, I know you're going to be trying to get away and put yourself out there in the world, but when Saturn goes Pisces in retrograde from June to November, you need to be very, very careful with traveling outside of the country, because There may be some issues going on with authority figures. You may end up getting locked up outside the country, baby, and you do not want that to happen. Trust me. If you see a celebrity that get locked up outside the country from June to November, they may be a Cancer rising. I'm just telling y'all that now. If you're a Cancer rising, I'm just telling you now, just to be careful, especially if you have any placements that are making any squares or oppositions or even sometimes trines too to the Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Again, Pisces rules prison, it rules isolation, it rules places away from other people where you can go to think by yourself, and it rules letting go. So maybe letting go of some belief you have, because the ninth house is belief on the other end of it. And Pisces is your imagination or your delusion, something where you were delusional or illusional about some belief that maybe it's not what it really was, and you need to let go of that when Saturn goes retrograde in Pisces, and maybe it'll show you that, because especially if it's in the ninth house, it's a big ass delusion too, because ninth house likes to expand everything that's in it. So yeah, it's something, maybe looking at what happened last year between June to November-ish. What happened last year, that Saturn went to retrograde in Pisces during that time last year, and it'll be doing around the same time this year as well. So some of the same things may be repeating themselves, so you just take a look and look at the patterns. So thank you, my lovely Cancer rising people. I'm going to head on over to my Leo rising folks. Okay, so Leo rising people. If you're a Leo rising person, then this month you have Libra and Lilith in your third house being the handle of your chart. So that means that communications, relatives, siblings, close friends, your immediate environment, and the relationships that you have with people are going to be it's going to be a big effect that you're going to have this month. So maybe you feel like those people may be being unfair to you, or that you can't have any peace or harmony when it comes to your immediate environment, or with your siblings, or with your close friends, or maybe some relationship that you have. There could be some communication issues, or with the South Node in your third house, there could be some past life karma or reconciliation from people coming back around, with some manipulation or gold digging when it comes to relationships, or it could be some love bombing, because this is some smooth talking, or this is somebody trying to pull the woolly over you. So this could be what's hanging you up this month when it comes to a lot of things. So just be careful when it comes to meeting new people, when it comes to relationships. Welcome, you guys. If y'all ain't here, make some noise so we can get the chat going. If I've already missed your rising sign, of course you can always go back and rewind it and see your rising sign, because after tonight it will not be up there anymore. If y'all missing this live, y'all missing a lot of vital information, because I'm really giving y'all the tea. Okay, so the first placement for you, which is today, which is March, which is for Mars and Taurus, will be in your 10th house. So that means that your career, you're going to be very focused on making money from the career that you have, or very focused on being really solid when it comes to your reputation and what it is that you bring to the world, or what it is that you show to the world. You want to make sure that you're showing people that you're solid, that that you're about your money, and that you're not playing when it comes to your money. You could be very passionate, or very ambitious, or driven when it comes to trying to get some money. Also on the other end too, you could be very aggressive when it comes to that too. Just make sure that you establish the proper values, that it comes to be able to get the money it is that you want. That Spirit wanted me to tell y'all that. So next you'll have on the 17th, Mercury will be entering into Cancer in your 12th house of letting go. Excuse me, not Mercury. Mercury and Venus will be entering there on the same day. So let's just go ahead and talk about both of them, because they're going on the same day. They're going in the same sign, in the same house. Let's talk about Venus and Mercury. So Venus going there, we'll be talking about love, money, finances, value, your peace, your harmony, where you feel pleasure at, where you're going to be evaluating things at. So the 12th house meaning that you'll be evaluating the way that you are being away from your family. Maybe you want to be closer to your family. Maybe you want to have a better relationship with your family. Maybe you may be letting family members go, this month. There could be some, letting go of family members, or, realizing that certain parts of you that are, related to your family are not of you. So you may be letting go of old psychological patterns or beliefs from families that don't suit you anymore. Also with Mercury going there, again, the thought patterns, how you think, how you analyze things, the details, the facts about your family. You'll be digging into those probably a little bit more this month to really try to understand, your family and how you operate, and even your instincts, your emotions. And that's so funny because I'm a Leo rising. As I'm saying this stuff, I'm not even thinking about myself, but I've been talking a lot more about emotions lately, and Cancer rules the moon, who rules emotions, and Spirit has been giving me information and insight about how to deal with emotions, which is so crazy. All this stuff is feeding into each other, and I'm just thinking about it as I'm thinking about this. But yeah, your emotions this month, giving you insight about how to deal with your emotions, how to communicate your emotions, how to tell people how to communicate their emotions, even within family settings, helping people with their emotions. Then you have the sun going there. So the sun meaning that in Pisces likes to engulf the whole of whatever it is in. So Pisces rules the 12th house. And the 12th house, whatever I told you, whatever sign is there, is debilitated. So maybe the Cancer ability, open, you'll be so engulfed in it that you won't even realize it, because the reason why it is doing something, the reason why you can't really see it, because you're basically doing everything going out. So it's still there. It's just not doing it. It's just living in subconscious, because Pisces does live in subconscious of the grand world, the world that operates on its own without you really realizing it, just like the moon does, which is why Cancer is there, because your subconscious operates on its own without you even realizing it. So maybe this month you'll be operating in your motherly nature and not even realizing it. Then the summer solstice also be happening there. So again, there'll be some new energy around this 12th house energy, some shedding of something, letting go of something, like again, like I said, with family issues and patterns or so on and so forth. There could be some new energy happening there. Then on the 21st, you'll have the full moon in Capricorn in your sixth house. So there could be something coming to fruition about something in your sixth house. Capricorn in the sixth house. So the sixth house is your health, your habits, your daily routine, so on and so forth. So there could be some endings or something coming to fruition when it comes to your business, your career, your job, because the sixth house does rule work as well. Something coming in around something that's coming to completion there, especially depending on what's in your house, because it's something that you need to let go of, something as far as your career, or maybe a part of, like, again, your reputation, something you need to be realistic about when it comes to family, because the 12th house has a tendency to be delusional as well, because Pisces is a little delusional. So the sixth house kind of brings you down to reality and makes you a little bit more discerning. So the full moon may bring some type of discernment to you, or bring an ending to something, because you were able to discern through what it is that the 12th house sometimes is able to hide, because it does rule hidden enemies or hidden things. Um, or it also could be something with your health. Maybe something maybe coming to a head with something going on with your health, maybe your bones, maybe teeth, or maybe something with your feet or something of that nature, because um, Capricorn rules Saturn, and Pisces is in Saturn right now, and it's in Saturn. Pisces is opposite of the sixth house, so it could be something going on with the feet. I just show y'all how to connect the dots. Or it could be something going on with the knees, something of that nature, because Capricorn rules those things, or the teeth. Um, and then you'll have on the 29th, again, we talked about Lilith and Libra in your third house. So Lilith will be going there. And then also on the 29th, we'll have Saturn retrograde in Pisces in your eighth house of death, rebirth, transformation, other people's finances, loans, taxes, debt, alimony, child support, all that things, they'll be going backwards. So there may be something coming up when it comes to those things, some lessons, something that needs to be learned, something that needs to be revisited, revised, something that needs to be gone back over, something that was missed when in Pisces, because again, Pisces has a tendency to blur things and to be a little delusional. So maybe there was something that you were supposed to get that you missed there that we're going to go back on, and maybe something that you were supposed to get, or maybe something that you owe, or something that somebody owes you. All right, my Leo rising people, we are done with you guys. Let's go on to the next people, which is our lovely Virgo rising people. So if you are a Virgo rising person, this month for you, we have a bucket chart just like everybody else has a bucket chart, and Lilith is the handle, and Lilith and Libra in your second house. So that means that your finances, the way that you grow, your possessions, your value, and the way you evaluate things will be holding up your chart this month. It will be a big issue for you. It's 10:10 on the clock. So let's go into the first placement we have, which is Mars into Taurus, which is today, 6-9. And Mars will go into Taurus into your ninth house of higher learning, expansion, travel, higher education, public speaking, philosophy. Jupiter rules the ninth house as well as Sagittarius, and Jupiter likes to expand wherever it's at. So maybe you may be really ambitious into making money. That would make a reason why, because since Lilith is in Libra in your second house, Lilith will bring some kind of issues there when it comes to money. So maybe you'll be very ambitious on expanding your money, but the way you may be going about it may not be all that great. So you have to be very careful about that too, because Mars is naturally ruled by Aries, and Aries gets what they want. They may be very driven to getting what they want, and Jupiter says that, think about other people too. The more that you be charitable, the more that you'll get back to you in return. And it'll also make your vision very much so like narrow-minded. You'll be very stubborn, not wanting to see anything else besides what you want, and sometimes they could possibly have you miss opportunities, but depending on any negative aspects you have to it, but also it could possibly help you gain a lot of money opportunities if you have positive aspects to it, what you do, because you will have a trine to your rising sign, so it'll be a positive aspect to it. Next, on the 17th, you'll have Venus entering Cancer, and you'll have Mercury entering Cancer. Over here in your 11th house of groups, associations, friends, not partnerships, but groups. I already said groups, but also your hopes and your dreams, and sometimes your fears too. And this is also considered the house of gains as well. So again, you got Venus in the house of gains. You could be getting some money from somewhere. Maybe your friends, maybe the groups that you're in, or the people that you're associated with. Maybe they'll network you and put you on to people. Maybe your family members, because Cancer rules the home, or your mother, or people that are associated with your family. They may be putting you on. So friends of the family, they may be giving you some money, or they be making money with you, or you may be networking with those people, especially with Mercury there. Mercury rules communications, contracts, networking as well. So you'll definitely be having a lot of networks, especially at home. Maybe people from your hometown, or maybe people in your family. You may be networking a lot with them. And then on the 20th, you'll have the summer solstice and the sun entering Cancer in the 11th house. So again, the focus this month for you will really be around home, friends, your group associations, and the people who make you feel like family or make you feel like home, and vice versa. There'll be the big emphasis for you. There may be some new friends that you may find that you really click with, that make you feel like, they're your tribe. There could be some friends coming to visit you or staying in your home, or you could be linking back up with some of your hometown friends or friends from college, or anything like that. There could be some new energy coming up with that as well. Next, on the 21st, you'll have the full moon in Capricorn in your 5th house of romantic flings, children, sex, creativity, risk, gambling, and things of that, where you put your investment in it. And if you did something on a new moon in Gemini in your 10th house, if you did it correctly, you didn't have any foolproof leaks, there may be something coming into fruition with your 5th house there. Even if it may be some kids, or, if you're trying to have kids, maybe, you may got, kids may come through, or maybe if you wasn't trying to have any kids on a negative aspect, some kids may come through. Um, it's just, what it is. So, if you have some issues going on in the 5th house, they could be there. Or on the other end of the aspect, if you did have some leaks in there, like I said, if you don't want no kids, then that could be an issue as well. But if you made plans on other things, then you may lose out on your investment, because the Fool and the Capricorn may bring some things to an ending, that maybe friendships, or maybe relationships that you started to build, or a reputation that you started to build, that is coming to an end, or identity, because the 5th house is ruled by the sun, identity of yourself that may be ending. Next, on the 29th, we have Lilith going into Libra, which we did briefly talk about. But again, something may be going on with your finances, court cases, maybe open enemies, people trying to manipulate you out of money, or you trying to manipulate other people out of money. This is gold digging energy, relationship energy, like money in relationships, issues with that. This is also reconciliation energy, because you got the South Node also transiting your 2nd house, and this could be karmic energy of reconciliation, of love coming back around, especially since the 2nd house is ruled by Venus, and Libra is ruled by Venus as well. So that's going on the 29th. And also on the 29th, you have Saturn retrograde. Oh, yep, it's relationship issues. Saturn retrograde. I think Saturn is where you're going to get your karma from Libra. Saturn is where you're going to get your karma from Libra. And your 7th house. 7th house is the house of open enemies, court cases, the same thing that Libra rules, basically. And Saturn is retrograde there, so maybe somebody may be coming back around, or relationship may be coming back around. Maybe you need to revisit a relationship that you isolated, that you put on hold, a relationship that you maybe had boundaries on, but boundaries may be opening back up again. These people may be coming back up, because Pisces definitely rules boundaryless, and Saturn rules limitations and boundaries and restrictions. And when it's retrograde, that means they're going to be even more open than Pisces already is. So maybe your boundaries could be really open, and you'll be susceptible to a lot of crazy people and relationships. So be careful with that issue. All right, moving right on to our Libra rising people, y'all. So, hey, y'all. Anybody? I just want to check and see who all in here. Just say hey, and what's your rising sign? Just say hey, and what's your rising sign? That's it. I just want to know if I don't already got your sign, or if I'm getting close to it. Sorry, I had to come back into my other phone on the chat. I know you waiting on Scorpio. I wasn't sure who else was in here, because I seen the other people. But, so Scorpio's next, boo. I got you. I got you. Okay. So, Libra rising. You can't hear me? Damn. Did you hear anything I said about that Lilith and Libra in the Aries opposition? So I'll say that one more again. So Lilith and Libra people. If you're a Lilith and Libra with the Libra rising, this is meant for you guys to be able to stop having codependency issues. Spirit is pushing you to be a leader and to lead in your relationships, not depend on your relationships for you to have some type of way to pull out your control mechanism and for you to be able to show people what you can do. Because sometimes people have they have codependency issues, but when they get in these relationships, they like to be controlling as hell. Don't try to control your. Can you hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I can hear myself on there. But yeah, y'all Libra rising people, build a better relationship with yourself. That way you can have better relationships with other people. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I took it away. So yeah, y'all Libra rising people. Better relationships with yourself. What Libra goes into Lilith. Next, you have Mars going into Taurus in your eighth house of OPPs, other people's property. So you'll be very geared on getting other people's property. Maybe if you're going through relationship issues, especially with the North Node and Aries in your seventh house, maybe you be trying to get alimony, child support, get tax money, get money that's like, court case money owed to you, because after the seventh house of court cases, the eighth house is what you owe to people after you don't won them court cases. So maybe trying to get money from that, or maybe you may be like doing some magic or something to try to get money spills, something like that, of that nature, because you are need money to pay, or maybe you need to get money to pay somebody else with, because maybe you owe somebody something and you need to pay them. Then on the 17th, we have Venus and Mercury in Cancer going into your 10th house of career, reputation, your status, and your worldly view and how the world views you. So when Venus goes there, work. You may be making more money in career, but you may be making it from home, which is opposition of it. Or maybe you may be seeming like to the outside world. Like you may be like very needy, very much so like a crybaby, like you just like a baby. You know how like a baby is, like they just need everything. Like you just gotta put them on your hip and take them everywhere. Like you could very much so seem like that because you could very much so seem like you need nurturing, especially from the outside world. Also, when Mercury's there, maybe if you have a job or a profession where you take care of people, where you nurture people, there could be some news or communication coming in with that. Maybe you may get a new job where you do that, especially, or maybe you may get a new job where you work from home or uh, something of that nature, especially because you're going to be making money when it comes to this Cancer energy. Then on the 20th, you'll have the summer solstice, and you'll have the sun entering Cancer in your 10th house. So there'll be triple Cancer energy. So that 10th house will really be lit up for you. So that 10th house, your reputation and you, the Lilith and Libra, is very much so going to be how you appear to the world with this Cancer energy. Cancer can have two good sides. Cancer can be very nurturing. They can be very giving. They can be very solid. They could be hold you down, or they could be very emotional, very moody, very crabby, very overprotective, very skeptical, very suspicious. You could be doing that, especially when it comes into your relationships and how you appear to other people. So you'll definitely be working on your reputation and how you appear to the outside world a lot when it comes to this. Always focus on Cancer energy. Then on the 21st, you'll have the full moon in Capricorn over here in your fourth house. So maybe somebody could be moving from home, somebody could be selling a house. Maybe again, this is Capricorn and Cancer in the opposite houses. So maybe again, you may be trying to, maybe on the new moon in Gemini, you was working on a business plan to work from home, and maybe you may bring it, if you everything went right and you got good aspects, maybe you're bringing it into fruition in your fourth house or in your home house. Or maybe there's something going on with endings with your family members or with your home life, or there could be something going on with you emotionally that you are ending. Again, like I said, there's some aspect of the Cancer part of you needs to end, and with this full moon in Capricorn, it's gonna either bring it to an end around that time, a little bit before it, or some parts after it. Something's gonna bring something to an end for you, depending on what else you have in your chart. Then again, we're going to talk about the Lilith and Libra. It's happening on the 29th of June, as well as on the 29th of June, Saturn will be going into Pisces. So we already talked about this Lilith and Libra. So Saturn going into Pisces on this, into Saturn going retrograde into Pisces in your sixth house, will be affecting your health, your mental health. You will be very much so in your head a lot. Maybe when it comes to your work, or maybe when it comes to your day-to-day routine, maybe you'll be by yourself more. Maybe you'll be way more lonely. Maybe you won't be talking to people as much. Maybe you may be going through a lot of mental health issues, a lot of withdrawals. Maybe you may be hospitalized, because Pisces does rules hospitalization, especially when it's in retrograde. It can go a little haywire. So maybe you may be going back to revisit maybe some health issues that you had, if it came to your feet, your bones, your teeth, or something of that nature. Or maybe your mental health issues, maybe some therapy, or going back to revisit somebody for spiritual practices, because Pisces is spirituality, or something of that nature, or something that you need to reincorporate back in your day-to-day life that you were doing before, maybe last year between June and November, that you were doing before, that you need to redo again, because it's going to bring you more peace and harmony to your day-to-day life and into your health. And yeah, for y'all Libra rising, we done. Now we on to big Scorpio. All right now, Scorpio, holla if you hear me now. Holla if you hear me, Scorpio. Holla if you hear me. We here to you. We here to you. If you are a Scorpio rising person, you will have, like anybody else in here, the bucket chart will be happening for you with Lilith and Libra in your 12th house. She said, I'm president. So your 12th house for you, this is whole house system as well, but wherever you have Libra at, that's where Lilith will be. That's where the bucket will be at for you for this month. That means that the 12th house of letting go of some type of relationship or some type of codependency. Um, the correlation between Libra and the 12th house or Pisces or Neptune is duality. There's definitely some letting go of some type of harmony or balance that you're trying to keep that just ain't needing to be kept. You're doing too much to try to keep the peace here, and it's needing to be let go of, if that makes sense. So there could be also some type of psychological codependency that you don't realize that you kind of have, and you could be letting go of that trait as well. On the other end, there could be some very deep psychological manipulation or illusion or delusion tied around to partnerships when it comes to how they look, and especially when it comes down to finances and why it's like, that's all you need to know. What happened? You got to talk to me after this. And so there could be some issues going on along with that as well, because with the Lilith there, it's going to emphasize the delusion and the illusion around this relationship, because there's some type of karmic link attached to this relationship, because it's going to, like I said, connect to the South Node in Libra. So it's going to be some type of connection there, but it's only going to push you towards your North Node in your sixth house of health, day-to-day routines, because you need to be a leader and not be depending on other people to get you started, to get you going. You don't need those people. That's why the Libra emphasis is muted or debilitated in the 12th house, because it does not want you to depend on that codependency, depend on somebody to go with you. Do it yourself, because if you wait on somebody, you're going to miss your opportunity. The sixth house is asking for you to be more discerning, especially when it comes to your relationships during this period. Next, we're going to go on to Mars and Taurus that's happening today. And the Mars and Taurus aspect is going to be happening to your seventh house. Oh, that's why Libra wants you to be more, they want you to be more discerning, because the seventh house is relationship, again, a lot of stuff going on in the seventh house, baby. This seventh house is gonna be it's Libra emphasis, it's relationships. The seventh house rules your relationships, your partnerships, your unions, your court cases, your open enemies. There rules people that you have really close bonds and connections to, and your peace and your harmony, and where you find your peace and your harmony at. And you find your peace and your harmony at in your coins and your money and your value, especially when it comes to relationships, because for you sometimes, especially depending on what you have in your chart, sometimes that seventh house energy says that my value, I base it more off of the value people see in me than I see in myself. So sometimes it means that, yep, exactly. And sometimes the seventh house says, especially when Taurus is there, I put more value, or I do more evaluating when it comes to relationships than I do more evaluating when it comes to myself. That's why yours is very close to that Libra rising people, also evaluating the relationship that you have with yourself, because Scorpio rising people sometimes have a negative aspect, or sometimes could look negatively at themselves, even though they could look beautiful to everybody else, because the seventh house is also how your partnership sees you too, and how you see partnerships. So they can see you as beautiful, but you don't see yourself that way. So again, you also have to work on how you see yourself. That's why you have to change this psyche about this relationships and how you connect yourself to relationships, because you can feel good without the relationship. You don't have to feel good with it. Yep, boo, we gotta talk. So We go on to the 17th. We got Mercury and we got Venus entering Cancer in your ninth house. So Cancer is a good place for the ninth house because the ninth house is ruled by Jupiter and is ruled by Sagittarius. And naturally, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, which means that it does well. That Jupiter likes to expand. So does Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon rules the mother. And what does the mother do? It expands and makes things big. It adds so on and so on and so forth. So when you have Cancer already going to a house that it does good in, there could be some chances of pregnancy. I think that's why Libra is there for you to be discerning on the partnerships and the relationships that you have, because Taurus is also exalted in the moon as well, which is ruled by Cancer, and you will have a natural sextile between your seventh house and your ninth house with this Taurus energy and this Cancer energy. So be careful with, if you having sex out here, then you need to be very careful because Saturn. Oh, I'm gonna get there. I can see the big picture. That's why I'm telling y'all all of this like this, so I can see the big picture. Be careful when you out here being with people because Cancer rule the homes and the babies and stuff like that. When you out here doing the do and having sex, because it can very well so make you very abundant, and when it makes you abundant in people and babies and stuff like that. Because you know, if anybody know about the straw man, baby, you are worth money as soon as you are born. That's why you are a Cancer, and that's why Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, because you are abundant. You multiply. They say you multiply and be abundant. Yeah, you multiply, baby. So you got to be very careful. That's why their ninth house is expanded. But you may also be traveling to go see family, or going, you know, family may be a long distance family may be coming to see you. Or you know, you may be planning trips with your family or something of that nature. It may be, you know, huh? Yeah, I know Taurus is your DC. So the ninth house also rules like the way that how you see a bigger picture, especially when it comes to like where you come from and who you are and how you see things, because you have Aquarius on your fourth house cusp. So the way that you see family and the way that you see you are, you may be wanting to move away from home. You may be thinking of changing your homes and just living in another country, maybe moving close to your soul tribe. Yeah, because planning trips to faraway places, or this is somebody moving a home, thinking about moving a home to another place, literally. Because Cancer rules the home, and ninth house rules like long distance travel, so like home away from home, maybe. Then on the 20th, you have the solar eclipse. Not solar eclipse, the summer solstice, and you have the sun in Cancer coming into the ninth house as well. So again, the emphasis of family, home, travel for distance away being more nurturing, or maybe you feel like people that are further away from you make you feel more comfortable or more at home than the people in your own surroundings. Then you have the full moon in Capricorn happening in your third house on the 21st. Now, the new moon in Gemini, if you made any planting any seeds there, especially when it comes, because the new moon happened over there in your eighth house of OPPs, other people's property. So if you made any new plans around like gaining other people's property or any new rituals or anything like that, if there was foolproof and there was no leaks in your plans, you may bring it into fruition on the third house, and you may be moving around, you may be traveling, you know, you may be you know, new business plans, because Capricorn rules business, or you may be in the third house, maybe making new communications, or you may have ended some communications that you have made with somebody, or you may be paying something off that you know you owed, or something of that nature. Then on the 29th, we have Lilith, like we already talked about, going in Libra. And then you have Saturn retrograde in Pisces in your fifth house. Like I said, this is why I said be careful with the kids, because Saturn retrograde is like, this is something that you need to rethink about. Maybe something may happen that you need to think about, or maybe, you know, These, because fifth house rules again creativity, children, romantic flings, sex, a house where you place your investment at. This house is naturally ruled by Leo, and you have Pisces here. So this is a house again where you were delusioned at, where you did not see something yet, where there may have been some hidden enemies, at, where there had maybe some letting go of. You need to go and revisit something that maybe that happened last year between June and November, when Saturn was also in Pisces retrograde again. Maybe the same things may be coming back up. Maybe those things could be coming back up again. So just make sure that you go and you look. Mm-hmm. All right, we moving right on now. Y'all Sagittarius rising. We getting on to the end. Sagittarius rising people. If you're a Sagittarius rising person, then for you this month, the bucket chart handle will be in your 11th house with Lilith and Libra there. So your friends, your groups, your associations, people that you're closely connected to, as far as like your close networks, the relationships that you have with them, especially if you have any like friends with benefits or something like that. Yeah, all that's gonna be, don't do it this month, baby. It's gonna be some shit going on there, maybe especially with money, or maybe with somebody not, keeping their word, or somebody not being fair, or there may not be no peace and harmony within your friendship groups. Um, Mars and Taurus is the first placement we have for today for June 9th. It'll be happening over in your sixth house of health, day-to-day routines, pets, your service that you give to other people, your natural, like, your natural job that you go to on a day-to-day basis. You'll be very more motivated at work. You'll be maybe more geared to trying to make more money, maybe trying to get a better promotion or a leadership position, especially when it'll make a conjunction to Uranus and Taurus already. Or maybe something going on with your health. Mars rules blood issues, or maybe if you have high blood pressure, or maybe if you have like diabetes or something of that nature, because you already have Taurus there. So maybe like something may unexpectedly happen, especially if you have like any negative aspects to Mars, and while it goes into Taurus in your sixth house. If you have diabetes or sugar issues, or any issues of that nature, any issues with your throat, thyroids, or stuff of that nature, it could be aggravated during that time, since it is going through your sixth house. If you have any pets or anything of that nature, be careful. You may be get attacked by pets, or your pets may attack people, or they may be having issues, or you may be really loving towards your pets, or maybe really geared towards maybe wanting to get a pet or emotional support animal, something of that nature. Or you may be working hard on your day-to-day routine, more hard than you ever worked before, because Taurus is a hard worker, baby, and when Mars is there, you're gonna work extra hard. Next, on the 17th, we have Venus and Mercury entering into Cancer, into your 8th house. So um, when Venus goes in the 8th house, maybe you could be getting money through family, through inheritances. Maybe somebody passed away. If they did, you have my deepest condolences. Or maybe some communication through like old money that maybe somebody slipped through the cracks, that somebody was supposed to give you, that they may give you, especially with Mercury there. Mercury is like news, communications. Like maybe you may get communications from your dreams from people in the dead, or maybe your old family members maybe like coming around and communicating with you, from deceased people. Maybe getting some money about like family, like, oh, maybe like taxes on your home, or taxes on your business, or something of that nature. um, maybe putting more value into your home, maybe life insurance, or maybe getting life insurance at this time would be good for your family, or insurance on your home. Then you have the sun and the summer solstice entering in the 8th house as well. So the 8th house will be lit up for you this month. So that'll tell me that you gaining money through other people will be a primary source, especially when it comes to family. Next, we have the full moon in Capricorn happening in your second house. See, this is how I know you're finna gain some money. Something coming to fruition um, in your money or finances. Either you giving out money or you getting money, depending on what aspects you got, or if they're making good or bad aspects to your natural placements in your chart. Whether the second house will bring you money, or whether you will have to give out money with the 8th house placement, because it could work either way depending on how the aspects in your chart. Then you have on the 29th, we talked about this Libra and Lilith already. And then you also have Saturn retrograde in Pisces in your fourth house. So again, family issues, something going bad with maybe family business, or maybe separating yourself from your family because maybe money issues, or maybe somebody took somebody money, maybe somebody supposed to pay them some money that they owed them and they didn't pay them back. um, Issues around there. Maybe somebody needs to revisit something that they missed when it comes to people, like when it comes to like family issues or money, or maybe somebody may be talking about old stuff coming back up again that people slept under the rug, or that what people kept quiet, or old family members may be coming back around again. Especially with Pisces on the fourth house, that means there may be some issues with family not expressing your emotions or not bringing up things. So there could be things coming back up again, especially from the past, since the fourth house is the past. All right, now we done with the Sagittarius rising people. We're moving on over to our Capricorn rising people. You are a Capricorn rising person. Be Lilith in Libra, but it'll be in your 10th house. So that means your career, which you naturally rule the 10th house, your career, your status, your reputation, and how the world outside views you, will be largely connected to the relationships that you have with other people, or court cases that you have, or something that may be ruining your reputation through how you are connected to somebody else. So you have to be careful for that, especially people coming to you, or you being very open to being manipulated because people think that you need to go along with people, or you missing opportunities at work because you think that you got to have your friend be with you, or you think that you need to do this project with somebody, or somebody may cross you at work or something like that, or somebody may go out there and try to ruin your reputation and be like, even if somebody may cheat on you, or you may cheat on somebody and ruin your own reputation. Either or, it depends on the placements that you have in your chart, to depend on how it will work out for you. So the first placement we have is today, the 9th of June, which is Mars in Taurus, over here in your fifth house of kids, romantic relationships, investments, creativity, and so on and so forth. So when you have Mars in your fifth house, don't be out there trying to gamble, especially when it comes to money. Now let me tell you something. If you want to gamble, hit me up before you do, so we can look in your chart first. There is a good placement, especially with Mars there, because Mars like to take risks, baby. Especially when it's in Taurus. Mars is in Taurus is naturally driven towards growing their money and gaining their money. Taurus like to do it solid, like to earn it themselves. But in the fifth house with Mars there, they'll be like, fuck it, I got the money, let's risk it. But you need to be careful about when you risk it, because time is everything. But this is a good placement for it, especially when it hits Uranus, because it could lead to unexpected money, especially like through kids, from kids, or like, from maybe child support, or like, you might get some unexpected child support, especially since it's in the fifth house, something like that. Um, Also on the 17th, you have Mercury and you have Venus entering your seventh house. So the seventh house is going to be lit up for you. So this could be some court cases. Like I said, you may get some money from somebody, maybe child support or something, or family. Somebody may owe you some money through family or something like that. Because the seventh house is connected to the 10th house, and I'll tell y'all why. Because the 7th house rules Libra, the 10th house rules Capricorn and Saturn. Saturn is exalted in Libra, which means it does really good there, because Saturn likes for things to be fair. Libra is like your lawyers, and they rule your judicial system, and Saturn rules your judges and your authority figures, so that's why they go good together. So there may be some issues going on with the judicial system, or some family issues, or property, or family like land or something like that. Especially for the Sagittarius rising people too, y'all are close to each other. So maybe something going on with family issues with land. The family may be separating somebody, but maybe there may be issues with marriage, or maybe somebody may be getting married, somebody may be joining their families together. Maybe you may be meeting somebody, your in-laws, or maybe it maybe meet your family, or so on and so forth. Because the seventh house is like partnerships, relationships. So maybe somebody may be getting engaged, and maybe meeting each other's families. Um, Also, the summer solstice and the sun is entering Cancer as well. So you may be having a better relationship with your family, your mother, or your father, depending on how your moon and your Saturn is set up in your chart, on who's a dominant parent and who's a docile parent. You could be definitely much so having a good relationship with them. You could have a good relationship with your spouse or your kids. You could want to be nurtured, or you could be more nurturing to them, therefore making them be more solid and more firm for you. Then you'll have the full moon in Capricorn going on over here in your first house. There is something that needs to be released that has been filling up in you. It feels like responsibility. If you're a Capricorn rising, it feels like you've been having a lot of responsibility, especially when it comes to family. And if it has not been great, then there may be some letting go of some aspect of you that feels like you need to hold so much responsibility for everybody else. If not, then it may make you be more responsible, especially if you have some negative aspects that you have not been responsible enough. You need to be more of a Capricorn and be more responsible, so that full moon may bring that issue to a head as well, especially when it comes to family. Maybe you're not pulling your weight like you should in the family or in a relationship, and you need to, step up to the plate, take some accountability, take some responsibility. Then we already talked about Libra and Lilith. That's happening on the 29th of June. Then also on the 29th of June, we'll have Saturn retrograde in Pisces over here in your third house. Something that you said, something that you said, it's going to come back up again. Or something that somebody else said is going to come back up again. Because the third house said you like to keep secrets. Something that you've been holding in, something that you ain't said, or something that somebody else ain't said, it's about to come back up and smack somebody in the face. And this is where you may have to take accountability, or somebody else may have to take accountability, or you may make somebody else try to take accountability for something that you knew about, that you didn't think nobody else knew about, or they didn't think that you knew about. Something's gonna come back up again. I can see it now. All right, that's it for our June Capricorn rising people. We only got 2 more signs left. Thank you, Lord. So, Aquarius rising people. If you are an Aquarius rising person, then the guys, in your ninth house. Excuse me, not Libra. Libra and Lilith is going to be in your ninth house, which is going to be the bucket of your chart. So that means the way that you expand in your relationships, traveling with relationships and partners, and close proximity. It may be some issues there. It also may be some issues of, like, if you're trying to like learn with somebody, go to school with somebody, or you're trying to be a teacher. If you have like a mentor, somebody like that, it may be issues with somebody like that if you got a mentor or something like that, or some type of like person who's there to like give you some type of guidance. It may be some type of manipulation there, some type of somebody trying to use you for something or manipulate you out of something, or vice versa. You could be doing it to somebody that's looking up to you, or somebody that you are in partnership with. You could be trying to manipulate them for your gain. So today, 6-9, the Mars going into Taurus in your 4th house. So you'll be very more focused on making your home comfortable, being a leader in your home, being your household, taking authority, being stubborn when it comes to how you run your household, how you run your family, and how you want things to run, because you like things to be comfortable, so you don't like things to change. Taurus has an issue with not liking things to change because it's so stubborn, it's so solid, and it's so fixed, just like Scorpio is. But Scorpio rules change. It rules transformation, and the phoenix rising, going down and coming back out of it. Taurus don't like that. Taurus wants everything to stay the same because it fears the change. But, with this thing right here, change is not always bad. Sometimes change is good. So with this issue, it can make you sometimes pig-headed and not want to listen to things that can make it better for everybody. Next, you have on 6/17, Venus going into Cancer and Mercury going into Cancer. When you have these two placements right here going into your sixth house, that means there may be something health issues or something going on that you have to be more mommy this month. Mommy, home life, and day to day life will pull you more at home than anything, because your day-to-day routine says that there's something that's going on in the home life that's going to be affecting your health. It's going to be maybe affecting your pets, your animals. There's going to be a lot of emphasis caused there, and even to maybe your mommy areas like your breast, your womb, your stomach, your gastro issue, your gut. Those issues may pop up for you, especially during Cancer season, especially when the summer solstice and the sun goes into Cancer. You may be more nurturing, you may be more authoritative, like, have more managerial skills, because mama know how to just get stuff in order with no problem. Especially in your day-to-day life, you just may be more of that go-to person, that more solid person that people will be looking to. And you also could be a little bit more critical at home and just like nitpicky and wanting things your way, which could cause that friction, which is that Mars energy there that I was talking about. So make sure that you're balancing that energy out. Next, you'll have on the 21st that full moon in Capricorn and Pisces. So there is something, this energy, all this energy that you have in your sixth house is causing you to have to let go of something with this full moon in your 12th house. Maybe if you have all this energy that's going on with you in your sixth house of health, it could make you have to be still. The 12th house is debilitating. So maybe even with your emotions or your gut or your gastro issues could be bothering you so much that it debilitates you and makes you have to be still or hospitalized, because the 12th house is hospitalization. Especially depending on what other aspects you have to it. With the full moon there also, it could be something coming into fruition into your psyche that maybe you had been feeling but you didn't really know about, but now, especially when it comes to family, but now something may come in for you, especially when it comes to work and your day-to-day lives or your pets or even your health. There may be something coming into fruition that you may be manifesting or bringing into you as well. And then we talked about the Lilith in Libra already in your ninth house on the 29th. Next, we'll be talking about on the 29th the Saturn in Pisces going retrograde in your second house of finances. So when Saturn is retrograde here, that means that we're going to got to go back and look at something or somewhere where there was some limitation, resources. They're going to be open when it comes to finances. Saturn said we're going to go back and revisit what you did. So we're going to have to go back and reopen everything back up again to look and to make sure all the finances were okay. So opposition of that may be like if there were some tax issues, some issues with child support or alimony, some issues with the way like you earn money, or maybe like with a bonus or a raise, or maybe like some issues may happen like with money that you earned, or maybe money like if you deal with money at work, something like that. It could be somebody stealing at work, or like if you're stealing money, or somebody could be stealing money from you. Either or, be careful because you may get caught. Because with Pisces in the second house means that you're sneaky when it comes to money. So just be careful because you may get caught. Yeah, so that's done. So with last but not least is my Pisces rising people. We at the end, y'all. If y'all been here with me the whole time, say hey and I love you. That's why I stuck with you to the end. Because we is here and we is here. So, Pisces rising people. If you're a Pisces rising person, then this month for you, the handle chart will be held up in Libra in your 8th house of death, rebirth, debt, taxes, child support, alimony, inheritances, debt, loans, insurances, things that you share with other people or you owe to other people or people owe you. So share like resources and finances. So when Libra is there, if you have any shared resources, shared finance, anything, property, any type of thing that you share with other people, there may be some issues going on with it. Because yeah, there could be definitely some issues going on with that, especially with this square coming to Cancer in your 5th house. of children, creativity, sex, romantic flings, and your investments. Because Libra and Cancer are both cardinal energies and they will square during Cancer season. Um, so yeah, there could be some issues going on with that. Maybe child support. Maybe you may be getting child support or having to pay child support. Or maybe some issues with taxes or trying to gain money through other people or money that you share with other people. But maybe some issues with that, people trying to manipulate you out of money, or definitely you trying to manipulate other people out of money. Reconciliation, and definitely karmic relationships with people will be coming back up again. So be careful for that, and that's going to be holding you up during this transit with Libra and Lilith, especially during the rest of this month. First, we're going to look at Mars, Taurus, which went to Taurus today, 6-9, in your third house of communications, siblings, short distance travel, your immediate environment, and your close relatives. With Mars going here, and especially into Taurus, the way you communicate could be very more stubborn, very more authoritative, very more your way or the highway type of energy. You could be very much so focused on your money, how to make money, how to grow yourself, and how to grow your communication, how to grow better thoughts for yourself, your better thinking process. You may be very a quick thinker, but very like studious and fast. This is a good time for you to create positive thoughts for yourself because Venus likes to feel good, and Taurus is ruled by Venus, so you'll be very much sort of geared towards having positive thoughts and thinking better things and focusing your energy on building the way you communicate with people and having better communication if you have good aspects to it. If you don't have good aspects to it, then it'll be the latter of what I said the first time. Could be some communication issues there, feeling stubborn, not wanting to hear other people, and wanting everything to be your way, and very much so one track mind, meaning that you can miss a lot of opportunities, especially with it being in the third house, because the third house only lets you see your immediate environment, so you only be able to see the opportunities around you if you are very much so stuck in your head and only thinking the way that you think and not thinking outside of the box and cooperating with others. Next, on the 17th, you have Venus and you have Mercury entering Cancer over here in your fifth house of kids, um, romantic flings, sex, sometimes like childhood relationships, your investments, your risk, and where you take a gamble at. And this is with family. Um, Maybe some issues going on with your kids this month. Maybe you want to be more nurturing. You have to be mom more, which is pulling you away from what it is that you really want to do because it's across from your 11th house, which is your hopes and dreams. And sometimes, and I ain't saying all the time, but when you have kids come first and they pull you away from what it is that you want to do in your life. So, maybe you having to be more of a parent this month is pulling you away from you doing what it is that maybe you really want to do with your life, or maybe you may be more focused on just being more of a nurturing parent this month, depending, even if you're a mother or if you're a father. You may have to definitely much so be that parent primarily this month. Then you have the summer solstice and the sun in Cancer in your fifth house. So there's definitely some new energy going on around your fifth house. Maybe you may be having some more kids, or maybe you may be some issues may be getting resolved, or maybe a new issue coming about when it comes to kids or your creativity, or new projects that you're trying to do, or a new risk that you're trying to take, because Cancer is a cardinal sign, so there is some initiative and going there, especially when it comes to your emotions and how you feel. Maybe you may be going back into your past when it comes to your childlike energy, and going back in and remembering what it was like for you to go in and make a better future for yourself, to go in and fix your creative block. You can tap into your childlike energy with that. Then on the 21st of June, you have the full moon in Capricorn in your 11th house. So since the fifth house rules the house of also your identity and who you are, because it rules Leo in the sun, sometimes there could be an opposition when you try to fit yourself into groups and associations So there could be some type of issues like with your family, maybe especially with kids. Maybe there's some endings there. Maybe there's some separation between family members, maybe mother and father with the child, or there could be some endings coming with some type of communication when it comes to family members. Maybe family members moving away from each other or splitting up, or maybe there could be some endings with some hopes and dreams at the moment due to family issues or issues going on with children. Or in relationships as well, because that full moon will also be making a square to this Lilith and Libra. So all this energy will be probably, bringing some type of end, but also it could be bringing some things to resolve, because this 11th house energy is also a house of fears too. So there could be some endings around some fears you have when it comes to your reputation or your career or something like that. Maybe it's bringing that into fruition, and bringing your hopes and dreams into fruition, especially if you did all you were supposed to do with that new moon in Gemini. You did all that paperwork, you did follow through with your plans, you made sure there were no holes in the plans. You may be getting some your hopes and dreams may be coming true. It could be go either way depending on how your chart plays out. Next, on the 29th, we already talked about Lilith and Libra in your 8th house, but we have Saturn retrograde in Pisces in your 1st house, which is the house of self. So Saturn is about to revisit something that you did that you're trying to keep a secret, that it's coming back up again. Saturn wants to revisit some places to where there was some boundary issues there were some issues to where um, there were some things that were hidden away, that were locked away, some hidden enemies. And Saturn said, let's go look at them again. Let's go bring some stuff out the closet. Let's go bring some old stuff up, even mental issues that may be coming back up again, because Pisces rules the mental health. And it also rules some delusions that you have about yourself or around yourself, or some boundary issues that you may have had that we want to revisit again. That's what Saturn is retrograde is going to want to do, but depending on how it aspects your chart is depending on how and where it will play out for you. So we done, y'all. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Again, this will be on Patreon. All the rest of it will be on Patreon. I will either stay up tonight and in the morning time. I will be adding it on Patreon. It's going to be free for the rest of June, and then in July again, the regular cycle will be going up. If you did need a reading and you want to know personally what's going to go on for you, if you're a Patreon member, it's only $25. If you're not a Patreon member, and you're a first-time member, it's 60 plus, and if you are a returning client, it's 45 plus. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great night. Again, you can go and look at this until tomorrow morning, and it will be offline. It will be on Patreon, and I will put Patreon in the description link if you guys want to join. And y'all have a good night, and I love you guys. I'll see y'all later.